Today on Conversations That Convert, we're going to talk about how builders can use video to attract high quality leads.
Welcome to Conversations That Convert. Every week, we'll spend about 10 to 15 minutes tackling relevant lead generation, marketing, and sales topics for remodelers, home improvement companies, and home builders. Conversations That Convert is brought to you by Builder Lead Converter, your perfect sales assistant. And now, here's Rick and Daiana.
Hey everyone, welcome to Conversations That Convert. Hello, Daiana.
Hello and welcome everybody. All right, I'm so excited for today's conversation to see how we will move forward.
How we're going to move forward. So we've been in this series called YouTube University for Builders, and this is part 3 of 6. But what are we talking about today, Daiana?
So today, how to attract, capture, and convert high-quality leads using video. And this is part 3 out of 6, and so curious to find out more about videos.
So as we mentioned, YouTube University for Builders, the idea there is we all go to YouTube University when we have that honeydew or that project, or we want to learn that skill that we don't know, and how builders can use video to attract, capture, and convert high quality leads as well. So this is the attraction part. And again, part 3 on using video to attract high quality opportunities. This is truly an opportunity. So they're not a lead yet, Daiana, because they have not opted in. They have not given you the information. But what we're trying to do is see, can we use video to attract more people to our offer? Every builder has an offer. That offer is usually to fix some sort of issue with their lifestyle. And we want to use video to, again, make them not only aware of the offer, but we want to use it to engage and also for search engine optimization. So what do you say, Daiana? Should we jump into it?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started.
All right, first and foremost, we want to use video to tell a story through the eyes of your client. And I need to back up here for a second and just before we jump into, hey, I want to create these videos, but what we need to look at is, how is this video going to be formatted that's going to get the attention, engage your lead, and ultimately get them to the table, which is where they're going to opt in and become a lead. So this is an important formula to follow. It's something that I've been using for many, many years. I learned from one of my mentors. And this is where we want to tell the story. Now, the beautiful thing about video is that it allows us to communicate in 3 different mediums. We talked about this in one of our previous episodes. So we have the spoken word, we have tone of voice, and then we have body language. And so we're using visual elements in the video, and then we can do other things to heighten the senses, such as music, as well as different images and how we're changing screens, zooming in, zooming out, that sort of thing. So a lot of movement in video to create that emotional appeal. Now, when it comes to using video to attract or to tell a story through as your client, the way we want to start in the videos, we want to start with the problems. What problem or problems are they trying to solve? So in this case, we don't just start off and saying, hey, we build homes here or we remodel homes here. We need to focus on this specific issue. And there's typically going to be 3 different issues. Issue number 1 is they cannot visualize what the project will look like. Issue number 2 is they don't know how much it's cost. Issue number 3 is they need to maybe find a location if ultimately they're going to be building a home, or they want to determine who is a builder that's available to come to their location to remodel their home. Now, the other thing we have to consider is picking a builder. And that's something we're going to work towards as we get a little bit farther down. But for right now, we want to focus on those 3 things. Again, design, pricing, and location. So that's the problem that they're trying to solve, is they can't visualize it, they don't know how much it costs, and they don't know where they can build or who will build, or remodel their home, renovate their home. Now, the second part of this formula is going to be, how does that problem affect their everyday life? So we start off by identifying the problem, the video does, and typically we're only going to deal with one problem. How does that problem affect their everyday life? So let's use the example of, say, design, Daiana, because that's usually the number 1 issue. So the problem is that your room or your current home does not fit your lifestyle. So it doesn't work for your family on a day in, day out basis, maybe large gatherings, the home is old and antiquated. Maybe it's you just outgrown your space, but you're going to identify that particular problem. Then you're going to agitate that problem. And so agitation is simply showing them how does that problem affect their everyday life. So we can use video to make humor situations where you show somebody in a cramped kitchen trying to cook and they're bumping into one another, or where the kids are, you have 4 kids in one bedroom, or anything that would then show them like, oh, I can relate to that. That's me. That's what I feel like in the morning. Then we have to introduce a solution. Okay, so what is that particular solution? So if it's a design problem, we want to introduce a design solution. And then we have to tell them what they need to do to get that solution. That's called the call to action. So very simple 4-part formula. We can plug and play the different problems, the different solutions, and then the different call to actions in there. So any thoughts on this, Daiana?
Yeah, so I think that's the most important thing, to just make sure you speak from their point of view. And then if you have and you follow this 4-step formula, I think things will be very easy for you. So 4-step formula, and then think and react how your client is reacting and thinking.
And I think you nailed it here. The thing to remember most is, do not tell the story from your perspective. They don't care about you yet. They are trying to solve their problem, and they're just looking for information at that point. So be that source of information. So when you tell the story from their perspective, when somebody relates to that, they're going to go to the next step, which is ultimately you're going to use that video to get them back to your website. So they want to get that offer. Yeah. That offer is what will create the lead. So very important to take it from their perspective. Remember, every lead has that open-ended question, what's in it for me? That's their favorite radio station. So you have to create that emotional attachment by identifying the problem, agitating that problem, showing them, again, what's going to happen if they don't change it. What is your solution? And then what do they need to do to get that solution? All right, let's move on to social media, or what I call for SEO and awareness. So videos can be used for a couple of different areas. SEO or social media is really going to be done from video through YouTube. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. So lots of people go to YouTube to find answers. So you are going to create YouTube how-to videos. So just like those people create videos on how to repair your car, or how to do a certain honeydew task around the home, or whatever other skill somebody's trying to learn, they go to YouTube University for that. You as a builder are going to do the same thing. Now, this is going to be specific for your community. So all these videos are going to be location specific. So in other words, how to design your home in and around Ann Arbor, Michigan, as an example. So it's going to be very specific. And so then you can talk about any local nuances that you have in your particular market. So again, it's near and dear to your lead's heart. All right, so again, we go to how-to video. So the first question, again, every lead has is design. So how do I design my new home? How do I design my new kitchen? Of course, you can talk about your different ways of your design process, what that looks like. Do you work with architects? Do you have an in-house designer? Do you design homes yourself? How does the design process work as far as with the concept plan and then getting a full design done? Estimating cost. How do I want to know, is it even feasible what I'm thinking of to do it within my budget? Okay, so again, we talk about what drives costs. And again, this is all frequently asked questions. These are the types of questions you're having at every pre-construction meeting, preliminary budget meeting, and people asking, well, how much for this? Or how about that? What if we did this? Again, so you identify those, create a FAQ question, and then we can take and we can use that and make it keyword rich, so that people can search on YouTube and find the answer to their question. Picking a builder, okay? What should they watch out for when they're picking a builder? What are the questions they should be asking? What's some of the due diligence that they should do? What does it mean to bid versus design build? Collaborative versus combative? So you want to have those types of create those types of videos. And then finally, there's the rest of your FAQs. So you make a list of 10, 20, 30. I mean, you probably have 100 frequently asked questions. Each one of those can be a short video, and they can be keyword optimized so that people can find the answer to that. Now, the other thing you can do with these videos, you can create playlists. Okay, so I can create, maybe have 15 design videos. I can create a playlist of 15 videos there. If they're a little bit longer videos, I can create chapters, and I can break them into shorts, as well as I can have more longer form videos. So there's a lot that you can do here. I'm going to say, though, as we talked about prior to this, is that the ideal video length is going to be somewhere between 30 to 60 seconds. So it's going to be a very quick nugget, with a very clear call to action to get a solution to their problem. And that's going to be going back to your website, getting some sort of a freebie download, some sort of a tool that you can use give them to answer their question. What do you think, Diana?
So yeah, I think the target is very important to know how to use social media, not for selling, but for awareness and SEO, to build the credibility on the market when someone is looking on your website or on your social media, and also to create smart videos, short, 13 to seconds, and no longer than 1 minute, and then focus on the quality and make sure you include a lot of movements in the videos.
Yeah, hold their attention. That's the key thing, is that if it's a 30-second video, your goal is to get them to watch it for 30 seconds. So there's that first 5 seconds of the video is very important for that from a setup standpoint. Now, you made a good point on the videos, and that's where engagement and awareness. So we talked about SEO with YouTube, but awareness is going to come down to Meta. And I put TikTok on here. Not many builders are using TikTok. TikTok is a viable platform, and I think it's worth exploring. Again, just from an pure awareness standpoint. It's typically a younger demographic on TikTok, but now we're getting to people that are 30 years old that are on TikTok. And why not? What do you have to lose? Because you can take and put a video up for Instagram. You can repurpose it on Facebook, cover Meta that way, and then move it over to TikTok. So what do we want to do here? We want to tell stories. So these are great, but before and after pictures, specific stories of of a finished product, and what did you do in order to get there. So in other words, you had, again, the problem, you agitated it, you came up with a solution, and then this is the end result. So that's what those great videos are. So this is where, if you're going to do before and after, or even during construction photos, this is a great way to do it. What do you do? Okay, so that's a great video series to do as well. So in other words, I'm going to tell people what I do, understanding that I'm telling it from our leads or client's perspective. So what's in it for them? Why would they want to engage you? Where do you do it? So creating videos, again, on your service area, the different neighborhoods you're targeting. And then where do they need to go to get more information? Very, very important, all this stuff to get to do that. So again, let's back up and just look at this again. SEO is going to be primarily a YouTube play. That's where you can really drive a lot of traffic back to your website. And Meta and TikTok are more awareness. Okay, so some people just want to stay aware of what you're doing. They want to follow you on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. That's fine if they want to do that. You're not going to drive a whole lot of people from those platforms back to your website, but it's just another avenue for them to stay top of mind. Any thoughts on that, Diana?
Yeah, so I think it's very powerful what you're saying, and if we just follow those methodologies and you be just aware of them, then you can make a huge difference on the market just by paying attention.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with a builder the other day, and he was talking about, well, should I just do this, this, and this, or should I do all of it? I said, really, you need to do all of it. You just need to be smart on how you're doing, because you just don't know where that lead wants to follow you, where they're coming from, what's going to get them to engage. So if you do this right, you're able to create one video, and I can use that video on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, and maybe in my email marketing, maybe on a blog, maybe on a website page. I can do lots of different things with that video. So you got to be very smart about it and be very, very strategic.
Yeah, and now a parallel comes with investment, because in investment, they say, and always Warren Buffett is saying that you need to have a very diverse portfolio, and like here, it's a similar. Just make sure you invest and you have a very diverse, uh, very diverse channels.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, from a marketing funnel, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of stuff going on, and then the nice thing is with everything that's digital, you can track your engagement. You can track, are you getting leads from this? Are people engaging you? And again, it's there's no magic wand that you can wave that's just going to happen overnight, but over time, you're going to see that where you're getting the best return on investment. And that's really what it's all about. It's data-driven analysis, data-driven marketing plans and strategy. Last but not least, website. And this is where we're talking about engagement. So I'm going to use that video on my website. So on your website, you will notice that that there are certain pages that are the most visited pages. So if you are a remodeler, it's going to be your About Us page, the services that you offer. If you are your photo gallery, if you are a builder, it's going to be your available homes or your home packages. So even if you don't build spec homes, you have to have a home packages page. That's where people typically go first. Your home plans, even if you're a custom builder, you've got to show home plans. Why? Because you're creating that emotional attachment. So you find these most visited pages, and that's typically at that point where the engagement rate goes up. So it's the highest. So now I can put videos on these pages, and I can tell, and again, very short, concise. These might only be 10, 15-second videos. What can they do on that homepage? So really what you want to tell them is like, here's how you get the information you're looking for, and here's the next step. And of course, that next step is the call to action. And different things you can do based on where they're at. So as an idea, if I'm a home builder and I am showing floor plans, I can have a call to action to my enhanced design library, which would be maybe a library of about 4,000 or 5,000 floor plans. This is one of the tools that we use. And that the lead can see 10 to 15 floor plans on your website, but if they want to really get deep in search, they can go into your enhanced design library. Okay, so that's the video can tell them that. For an available homes perspective, I can explain that, hey, this is an example of different available homes. However, we're a custom builder. These are designed to give you a bit an idea of what you can get for your money and some different architectural motifs. Okay, if I go into my locations, again, I can talk about maybe how do you build? Do you build on other people's lots? Do you develop land of your own? Do you buy lots? That sort of thing. And then the About Us page. Again, that's where, again, most people are going to spend their time if you are doing remodeling because there's a big trust factor there. So having a little video just talk about your company. And again, this might only be 10, 15 seconds, but it's like what they can get while they're on that page. Very, very important to create engagement. The more engagement we have, the higher probability we're going to be able to capture that lead, because it's all about time on site. So engagement creates time on site. The higher the time on site, the more opportunity I have to capture a lead. All right, Daiana, take it away. What do you think?
So my short takeaway, social media is for awareness and SEO, and website is for engagement. Make sure you have a clear call to action so you can support them to take the action, and also you create credibility and awareness using your social media platforms.
What a lovely summary. Absolutely beautiful. So true. So if you would like to know how we might be able to help you attract, capture, and convert high quality leads using video, go ahead and click that link below to schedule your strategy call. I'd love to talk to you more about your company, and we will have some examples of videos here very shortly that will come back and be able to show you guys, for those of you watching the video for the podcast. So for my brothers and sisters in Christ, may the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you all always. We'll see you next time on Conversations that Convert.